ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 2008 Nissan Altima. The complaint here, I did diagnostics on the truck the other day. We replaced a belt, and the customer asked me if I could do the spark plugs, and I said I did diagnostics. I really hardly call it diagnostics, but anyway, I started pulling the plug out, and right away I've noticed that the spark plug tube is full of oil. Common problem. I'll flip the screen around so I can see if you can see me. Common problem on these V6s have the same thing. I'm gonna try to make a quick video on this one here. Hope I don't forget anything, but hadn't done a video like this in a while, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. I sourced us a valve cover, and if you're asking yourself why am I replacing the valve cover if the tube seals are leaking, make sure the camera is going to pick it up. This right here is why. They are impregnated into the plastic. They cannot be changed as an individual piece. There's nobody, well, anyway, nobody that I know will have them. So, takes a Allen wrench or Allen socket, whatever you got. That's the 5mm flavor. 1, 2, 3. I had started on this already. So I had this part done. This is basically how it sits. Do the three bolts, get them out of there, get part out of the way. And this is as far as I've gotten with it. Start with the basic stuff first. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this a little bit fluent. So we're going to unclip 2 clips on the valve cover here, 1 over here on the motor mount, 2 10mm grounds, or 2 10mm bolts that has grounds on them, 10mm on the coils. Unplug all that. Going to do this right now. We don't have to change or unhook the battery for this one. We've got some clips over here for the hoses. Ooh, doggy. I hope we don't break them. As usual, they're hard and dry rotted. It's also about a standard. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to go ahead and get all the hoses. Customer don't mind fixing stuff, but of course most people don't want to spend too much money, so we're going to try to fix it as cheap as we can fix it. Of course, we don't want it breaking going down the road either. We'll find out what we got to do here to make this happen. Go ahead and loosen it. Well, you don't have to, but I loosened the back up. The back clamp, I loosened that up. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. Loosen it up and twist it out of my way so I don't have to keep fiddling with it. I guess I could move you guys a little bit closer. I'm going to flip this around real quick. As you can see here, I got a bad habit of saying but anyway, as you can see, there is a jack underneath the engine, underneath the oil pan. We'll have to have that. The reason for it is because we'll have to undo the motor mount, get the valve cover off. Not a big deal, I hope. That's it. We can remove some wires here. Got to get some of that undone. Yeah, might as well undo some clips while we're at it as well. Try not to break them if we can help it. Sometimes it can't be helped though, so it is what it is. If any of the clips break, just use wire ties, be okay. Make sure make sure they are secure. As I mentioned, customer had requested to replace the spark plugs the last time, and went ahead and got the spark plugs, but I didn't do that part of it because of the yeah, there we go again, because of the oil in the holes. Didn't want to put the new spark plugs into the oil and submerge them right away. That gum thing clipped back in there on its own. Can you believe that? That would have never ever happened. So these things generally, wiring harness, when they get that old, you can nearly bet it's going to be dry rotted. Nothing you can do about it. Ooh, doggy, good and toasty. Put your coils off to the side, of course. I think it had a little bit of oil come through. It's only been let's see, like 5 days ago or so. So not a lot of leaking. We'll undo the grounds. We'll make sure I got everything at this point in time. This hose here is dry beyond anything else. It's completely gone, so we will be replacing that hose. Not a problem though. I keep hoses like this here in the shop, so don't have to make a run for that one. That's why I said, you know, that's 3/8 hose, so if you don't have that laying around, you might want to get a piece, because I see that a lot, that these things get just dry rotted enough to make you mad. Take a cap off, and fun part, we'll have to do our bracket. Haven't got a clue what size that is just yet. I forgot. Can't remember everything. Looks about like a 14. One, two, three, four. Let's see, 4 of the 14 flavor, looks to me like. Zip them out of there with the impact. If I can find my impact, that is. I didn't put it up from the last time. The last time I used it, that is. One, two, three, 4, 5 actually. So we got 5 of these. Pay attention to the length of your bolts. Put them back where they, so you can put them back where they came from. Start laying them off to the side. As I pull them out, guys, I'm going to pay attention how long they are as I pull them out. So we got 4 of them that are the same length. One of them is real long on this side over here. Now I'm going to have to contend with this motor mount part. Houston, I got a problem here. I didn't see that the last time. Of course, I wasn't paying no attention to it. But this motor mount here is broke. We're going to let the customer know that it's broken. Of course, we're not going to be able to do anything with it tonight, but we will let the customer know that. $16mm socket. Didn't have it quite pumped up enough. As you can see, I'm just under the oil pan. All I did, kind of let me pay attention here. Okay, we got 2 short, same ones, and two long ones, same length. I'm gonna put them over here on the other side. Let's see whatever else is attached. Okay, other than the motor mount, I think we are good at this point in time. We're going to have to undo that motor mount bolt. 19, I believe. No, that's actually 18, sorry. This here is an older gentleman. I doubt very seriously that he actually going to notice the difference on it, but like I said, we will tell him about it. You know, that's all I can do. I don't know if we have to remove the strut bracket here or not. I don't know that we can remove it, to tell you the truth. It would seem so. Oh my. Don't like much clearing, but anyway. We might be able to manipulate it since it is broke. Now, probably not going to be able to do that. Another 18 over here. Hold that top bracket. Of course, we already knew that we had to remove that, so I'm just fiddling. This is going to be a nut. Don't lose your rubber. We'll set this over here off to the side. And see if we can manipulate it out of there. Oh, right there it is. Sorry about that, guys. Here it is. I wasn't paying attention. There it is. We don't have to undo the one. Undo this one. Whoa. That's good and tight right there. Oh, that one there is crazy tight. So, sorry about that. I told you wrong. It's actually this part of the motor mount that you actually take off, and that'll free this up to where it can just lift up out of there like it's supposed to. All in all, shouldn't take you that long. I think it's about a 1.5 hour book time if that's what you're after. You know, if you want to know how long that job should take, I would say that, well, I'm not going to make a claim because, well, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to do this a little bit different. You know, I generally, if it's in the lower numbers, I add just a little bit something to it just in case something happens. You know, sometimes things just don't go right, especially when you're working on these older vehicles. You know, the book time is oftentimes not enough. You know, you get into a greasy, oily mess that we can't even see bolt heads and stuff like that. Well, you're losing time. So I generally, like I said, on the low numbers, I generally add a little bit of time to it, just in case you run into something that's unforeseen. Other than that, yeah, like I said, I think 1.5 hours is what the book time is for it, so you can go from there. Oh, last couple of threads is killing me. Can't believe I missed the motor mount being bad though, because it's kind of like a sore thumb. It kind of sticks out. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Man, they got a mile-long bolt in the damn things. What they always do, you know, put these bolts in there that are a mile long, 4 inches worth of threads in a damn part. So this can lift off, like I said, not a big deal. Of course, at this point in time, we're ready to take the 10 millimeters out of the valve cover, get all that loosened up. These bolts on here, these are shouldered. Once they start tightening up, tight is tight. There is no more. They won't go but so far. So don't tighten and tighten and tighten until it breaks. Always pay attention when you do pull them out to make sure that they are in fact all the same length, so you don't get messed up on that. Woo! Toasty there too. Don't fall. Hope you guys been counting because I haven't. Have we got them all? I don't know. I'll give you a little free tip. And that don't go for valve covers, it goes for everything. If, you know, always make sure that you have your part in hand. A lot of times, the easy thing to do is just to have a look. Like I said, this is not just pertaining to a valve cover. This goes for everything. Have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 bolts. There should be 12 bolts holding the valve covers. Now, let's see how many we have removed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we in fact have removed all the bolts out of that valve cover. There is nothing on here, nothing else on there that's holding it. So we now know for certain, we find us a spot to pry on, we're not going to mess something up. Of course, in this case, we're replacing, so it doesn't really matter, but if you were doing something else, like changing the valve cover gasket, that's how you ensure you don't break your stuff. Like I said, whatever it may be, you know. Gasket, as I predicted, you know, it is dry. It is really, really dry. Lip seals are completely hard. Of course, camera, I can't do nothing to show that on the camera, but you just have to take my word for it. These lip seals, they get just extremely hard and they start leaking. Close of it. This new one has already got a valve cover gasket in it. We'll make sure it's properly seated so we don't run into problems there, and it wasn't. In this case here, it was not properly seated. We're going to have to go ahead and get that in there. Don't want to take no chances on that, you know. Find a little. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Find you a little puddle of oil. Lube your seals just a little. Carefully put it back. Make it absolutely sure that these seals aren't doing something funky. Make sure they all start. And I don't care at this point, you know, I don't care what the book says as far as a sequence. I go anywhere in the center, go out, and we'll go in stages. We definitely want to stage this. You do not want to torque down on these things all at one shot. If you do, I guarantee you'll either crack the cover or you get your seal to where it kicks out on you or something. You got to remember, this is a brand spanking new seal. And it's going to be standing a lot taller than what the old one is, so you have to bring that valve cover down. And you can't do it all in one shot, all in one area. You have to stage it. Power tools are always the way to go, but There is a time for a power tool and there is a time not using a power tool. Top surface was clean, by the way, on the head. You know, the machine part of it, it was clean. I made sure I looked at it, and I did, you know. That one there is not started. I don't believe. All right. So at this point in time, we have all the bolts run down. You can kind of look at your tube seals. That'll give you kind of idea where the valve cover is in relation. You want to make sure that you're not shifted out. Make sure that everything fits. These actually seem to line up pretty good. They're not shifted off to the side. When you buy the cheaper valve covers, you will find sometimes they don't fit real good. And they'll be shifted off to one side or another, and it's just poor fit. Must have forgot that one a while ago. That's what I did. This one I did not. There may be another procedure in the book. I honestly do not know. I could look. I'm a little bit too much in a hurry today to actually go and look. Not going to do it. I've put on quite a few. The 4-cylinder, the V6, they're all the same. Not the same as the valve cover, but the V6s will leak as well, and you have to replace them also. What I meant. At this point in time, you know, we're just going to carefully torque them down, not yanking on it like crazy. And by the time we make a round and it's no longer moving, that thing here should be in good shape. Get your head over the top of it, straight as you can. Look down on it as close as you can. Make sure that the tube seals, like I said, make sure they look like they're in the center. I guess we could flip the camera here and then see the, so I don't know, can we see that? Can we see it? Can we see it? Okay, that's about the center of it. You know, however good I'm holding the camera. Anyway, battery is about that. Gonna have to change my battery. I did manage to get me some more batteries, so I'll have to change that real quick. So I had to switch to the phone. So I got these batteries on eBay, and they're supposed to be good batteries. I mean, a good brand name battery and a charger for the camera here. And I'm going to throw this in the video in case somebody noticed. This is a Panasonic that I normally use, and it keeps giving me this battery cannot be used. Any of you guys know what's up with this? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you've seen that before. I'm starting to lean toward a genuine issue. You know how sometimes a print cartridge, a printer will reject the print cartridge if it's not genuine. And it's not saying that, but it almost feels that's really what it's doing. This thing here pretty nasty. I'm going to put some gloves on. But anyway, thankfully I got a second tripod here and got a phone holder. So I don't have to shake all over the place. Fiddling around with that mess right there, and I forgot now what I was doing. So, might as well go ahead and get the spark plugs taken care of. We'll do that right now. You will need, there you go, there you see the oil running. You will need a 9/16. These are the smaller plugs. They are 9/16 in size, so you'll have to have them. The customer requested we put the auto lights in it. They're a little bit cheaper, which I'm good with that. The XP5683, that's what goes in it. These are the fine wire Iridium XPs. So, like I said, that's what the customer requested. Ordinarily, I would have used an NGK and a Nissan, but anyway, we're going to go by what the customer tells us to do. I'm not too worried about the holes. They're already clean. I done looked in there. Yes, it had some residue. I'm not too awful worried about it. I don't want to flood the engine with any kind of cleaner. That little oil that was sitting on top done ran in the cylinder anyway, so not a big problem there. There again. This is oily. Of course, we done made that determination a while ago, so be careful not to bend your electrode on the thing. Helicopter, helicopter. Oh, I just did that. Woo. Tell you to be careful in here. I'm banging it around. These plugs here wasn't too awful bad, but anyway, customer wants them replaced, so we're going to replace them. I'm going to go ahead and put the bracket back on. I opt to do that first. No particular reason. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll put our cap back on if we can. So we'll get that part of it done. And let's see. I'm trying to think if there is anything else. Right now we've got those. Okay, there's really nothing else that I need to show you. In an effort of not making such a long video, I'm going to cut her off right here. Just like I said, put the big bracket back on, slip this back on, put your nuts and bolts back. For now, like I said, we're going to put this back together for now. I highly doubt that I can get motor mount. It is later in the afternoon, so I'm not going to mess around with that today. Well, I may give the customer a call. Think about this for just a second. Let them know. It would be the time to do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be the time to do it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the customer a call, see what he says, and if he wants to mess with it, we see if we can't get it exchanged. Don't seem to be like too big of a deal. There's a couple of, feels like about a 10 millimeter nut. About three of them feels like. Anyway, yeah, let me go ahead and give the customer a call, see what he says. If he wants to fix it, we'll go ahead and fix that. I'm going to look up the price on it. It is kind of silly to put it back together with a broken motor mount while we got it apart, so I do agree with that. So, I actually spoke to the customer, and the customer agreed that is the time to change the motor mount, since I got to charge him again full price later on. So we're going to go ahead and do that job. But here is where some people are likely not going to agree. But in any event, I don't think twice about it. I have got the wheel. It's here somewhere. I don't know what I've done with the darn thing, but well, I'll be jiggered. Alright, I had to, for some reason I couldn't see my driver, so had to do a little something. Some of you guys may not agree with this, but I want to show you something that I'm going to do. I've made a decision I'm not going to loosen this bracket. The bracket, I'm not going to loosen this bracket. I'm going to try something before I get into loosening that. This is not in no way changing structural integrity of this part. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to try to do, is here where the bolt is, I'm going to try to shape this. Woo! Like I said, this is not going to in no way affect structural integrity. I should have probably moved the bolts. All I did is I got my punch here. I got this punch, and what I did is I just held it up here and built a radius into that bracket by folding the metal over. So this in no way affects the structural integrity of this. I'm going to see if I can get that bolt out like that. You know, I might have to do this once again. I might have to do it a little bit more. But I think in the long run, I really don't know what's on the bottom here. And at this point, I don't care. You know, this is not going to hurt anything. It's not going to mess it up. So I just got to make sure that it's not going to be in the way. We got to go a little bit more. I may just use the ball end of the hammer. We can do that, I'm sure. But like I said, this is not going to hurt structural integrity at all. It probably would have been a smart idea to get all the bolts out of here before you go to beating around on things and they shake loose. But anyway. And I will go ahead and put a little paint on this just to seal it off. I'm not saying it needs it, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway, you know, just to say that we did. I can't mess around with this too long. They're, like I said, they're older fellers, and you know they don't want to stay up all afternoon. Here is your motor mount. Like I said, that part is broken. We got a replacement part for it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Made a mistake. Made a mistake, made a mistake, made a mistake. We are going to have to put that bolt back in. There's just no way around that. So if you're going to do it like that, you know, be sure to put that bolt back in. As you know, this to me is a classic engineering problem. You know, they're the ones that designed that stuff, you know, and they miscalculated here. I'm not taking the whole bracket off. I don't even know how to take the bracket off yet. You know, we'll just form that over a little bit like we did here, and it's a serviceable part now that you don't have to take anything apart to do it. But anyway, that being said, what is this part? What is here? I did drop some things a while ago. I better have a look and see what I dropped. And there that is. That is, in fact, what I was looking for. We are going to have to put that bolt in there because it will not go in later on. Right now we can. Later on we will not be able to put it back in. As you can see, we made just enough. There's a shoulder on the back side. As long as you form your metal to the shoulder, it will be fine. Remember not to tighten that up. Can't tighten it yet because we got to get the other bolts in there first. And we've got to get all of it lined up. And once it's lined up, that's when we snug this last bolt up. Look how good that fits. So basically, reverse procedure. You know what we just did? I wanted to go ahead and show you the part on the old motor mount right here. So we'll have it back in. We'll bolt all that back up. And dang it, I did put that. I did make a little mistake there. I got carried away there, but I got it the wrong way. The flat side goes up. Sorry about that. I'm almost misleading you there. Got to flip it around. The flat side goes up. Sorry about that. Didn't mess that up. I just now looked at it. I thought, wait a minute, that's backwards. But anyway, I'm not going to film the rest of this because it's basically just reverse what I showed you earlier. So I'm going to end the video right here. Guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate all the subscriptions and all that good stuff. You know, leave the comments. You know, if you like what I did, you know, if you don't like what I did, you know, if something like that, if you say you never would have done that, well, that's an opinion, you know. We all have them. I'm going to end the video right here. Like, subscribe, leave comments. You know what to do. Till next one. So, ladies and gentlemen, quickly to sum this up. We put the motor mount back on. We replaced the two, or not replaced, but we bolted our two ground wires back on. We replaced the dry rotted hose. Got all the clothes tightened back up. Got all the motor mount bolts tightened back up. And we went ahead and put the paint on the bracket for where the paint chipped on it. So we done all that. We got to replace the cover. And that's it. I figured I'll go ahead and show the end result. This thing is running. I don't know if the engine, I don't know if you can hear the engine noise or whatever. So, thanks for watching.